Okay, that's not supposed to be cut off. Sorry. What color today? Blue? White? White's kind of fun. So I thought tonight I would try and redo or refilm the Q&A I filmed a couple weeks ago. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you will know that I filmed this and even got like halfway through editing it, I wasted a lot of time. And it was just so incredibly negative. I didn't look at the camera, I didn't smile, all my answers were like, poor pitiful me. So we are going to give it another shot today. I kept all your questions. Hold on, where'd they go? He sent me another one, now he's holding her like a baby. Oh, my poor bird.
Did anybody order a bird?
I kept all your questions that you sent last time, and then I've pulled a few from DMs and comments and stuff. So since my makeup is already done, we're gonna do my hair, and then when I wake up tomorrow, my hair might look halfway decent. This one is from NuMe. I'm gonna sneeze. All right, first question comes from Anxiety Depression Fun. I like your username. I absolutely adore your ability to ignore or laugh at hateful comments. How you doing that? Okay, I'm looking forward to answering this correctly. You can see I'm wearing a sports bra. Smoke and mirrors, guys, smoke and mirrors. I gave a very poor, pitiful me response the first time I answered this. So this time I'm gonna try and be honest, but not be so awful. So the short answer is, the reason hate comments don't really affect me is because I have experienced so much worse. And I don't mean that to sound, wait, put the glove on the wrong hand. I don't mean that to sound, you know, poor pitiful me, but the reality is a lot of us have dealt with this. So, you know, when I was a little kid, I was bullied big time at the first elementary school I went to. I mean, just literally every day, called fat, ugly, you can't play with us, you know, that sort of thing. And then it really did affect me. Like, I remember so vividly, I remember the names of the kids who did it, but I remember like sitting there wanting so badly to make friends and like play and just be involved, and they would just be like, shut up, fatty, and my heart would just drop into my stomach. I was so humiliated, and you just want to scream and cry and rage all at the same time, but you just put on this like face and just laugh it off. That, and just I dealt with a lot of verbal abuse growing up at home, and I don't know, I just got really used to it. I shouldn't be laughing. I'm just realizing how cynical it sounds. And I mean, to be totally honest with you guys without getting too graphic, I dealt with a lot more than just verbal abuse. There was a lot of terrible stuff that happened. So I just, now if someone's like, you're fat, I'm like, I've heard it so many times that I just don't care. And I also think a lot of times I get a kick out of it because I can't help but picture the person leaving the comment. I just picture them sitting at their keyboard like this. That's how every online troll types, obviously. And I don't know, I just somehow have found humor over the years in people acting like that. And one of the biggest life lessons I've learned from dealing with abuse is it is almost always a reflection of the person saying the abusive thing or the hateful thing, and not a reflection of who they're saying it about. Damaged people say damaging things. And I don't mean to drag out this answer, but that has really proven to be true since like doing social media as a job, because sometimes someone will say something super hateful to me and then later apologize and literally say, like, I've had a couple instances where women will be like, I'm just really insecure and I just said this because I was down on myself that day and blah blah blah. And people admit it sometimes. I just can't let that stuff bother you, you know? By the way, I'm leaving like the last inch or two straight because I think it's March on there. Hedged87 says, who were you in high school? Cheerleader, stoner, nerd, etc. Well, this is kind of a fun question. Technically, for like my freshman year and my junior year, I was a cheerleader, but I wasn't. I didn't fit in with the cheerleaders. I feel like in high school, I somehow hung out with the cool group. Like I somehow forced my way into that group because I was so sick of being bullied that when I changed schools, I was like, that's not gonna happen again. I'm going with the cool kids. But I didn't fit in with my friends at all. They were all so much cooler than me. Like, I hope one day you guys get to meet my friend Jaime, who was like my best friend in high school, my other half. She was so cool. And I was like, like the chubby friend with buck teeth that was like, can I come to the party with you? Major depressive disorder, which I didn't know. I had horrific hormonal problems, which I didn't know. I had an ego. I had a pretty big ego. Like, I know a lot of teenagers do. But looking back, I wish I had attended some sort of like performing arts school or something, because I feel like any teenager that has talents or gifts or whatever can get an ego, and I feel like it would have been good for me to be around people who were interested in the same things but way better than I was, you know. I definitely had a gift for foreign language, and I had a gift for music, and I didn't really know how to use them or what to do with them, and I just kind of let it give me an ego, and I would get frustrated with my classmates for not getting it, and I should have been in a performing arts school for sure. Manage the ego a little bit. Oh, hi, Penny. Lifesa.beauty. Cute. Asks, what's your favorite song to sing? I don't want this glove anymore. Don't try this at home, kids. That is a good question. I think it would be I'd Rather Go Blind by Etta James. However, there's a different version. There's a girl, I believe she was on The Voice or American Idol or something. Her name is Colette Lush, Fiery Little Redhead. Her version slaps, and that's the one I like to sing the most. Something told me it was over when I saw you and her talking. IR Kitty asks, have you ever considered being an actress? Yes. Oh my gosh. I wish so badly I had pursued that. Oh, this is getting stressful. But here's the thing, and I said this last time, I'm trying to like look up at you guys, but the cord is like, I don't have any slack. So to me, I don't know, this is just my opinion, but to me, in order to become something big, like an actress, a singer, a doctor, you have to have either a lot of support and like somebody pushing you, or a lot of self-motivation and really believe in yourself and like self-confidence, I don't know the word, but I didn't have either. And again, that's not a poor, pitiful me thing. I feel like most of us could probably say that. I feel like most people think that way, like, oh man, I would love to be an actress or a singer, but I never could. Like, I couldn't do that, you know? I feel like people who end up with that career are people who either worked for years and years and years and years to, you know, get a big break, or their parents at a very young age got them an agent, or it's just like a random coincidence and somebody gets discovered. Like, I just feel like none of those things seem to be on my plate, you know? I think about it all the time now, but at the same time, I don't know that I would want all the things that go along with being an actress. You're like a real legit actress that's in movies and stuff. That has to be a lot. A lot of rejection, a lot of cattiness, a lot of drama. And the cool thing about YouTube is that you kind of can be whatever you want, just on a smaller scale, which is great also. I'm also super interested in directing. Like, I think if I were to go back to school, I would learn about directing films and stuff. Christy Lynn 13 says, how have you lost 25 pounds? What have you been doing? Hashtag you go girl. Bicep emoji. Thank you, Christy. Okay, so I plan on doing a whole video about this. Now it's 28 pounds. Oh, thank you. I plan on doing a whole video about this when I like hit my goal, which I don't really know what my goal is just yet, but I want to get a little further along. And eventually I'm gonna make a whole video about it, but I can tell you some stuff right now. It probably will make more sense to know why I've lost weight if you understand why I got so heavy. Most of you probably already know this, but if you're new here, I'm a cancer survivor. I feel silly claiming that title sometimes because I know other people go through a lot worse ordeals than I did, but I had thyroid cancer in 2009, messed up my hormones, messed up my metabolism horribly. I kind of struggled with my weight before that though. I've had all kinds of hormonal problems since, I don't know, birth. And then I also have PCOS, which is a condition that makes it really hard for you to lose weight. So all of that stuff combined, mainly the thyroid, is why I had gotten so heavy. And it just makes your metabolism very inefficient. My doctor said that is a more accurate description. Instead of saying you have a slow metabolism, it's an inefficient metabolism. Basically meaning your body doesn't really know how to burn what you eat. So I found a new doctor. I talked all about it in that one video. I'll put it right here. My crazy doctor appointment story. I've been seeing him since March. He switched me from a synthetic thyroid hormone replacement to a natural one. So now the thyroid medicine I'm taking is closer to the real thing. So that's a huge reason. Now that being said, I'm still working at it. I'm still dieting and stuff. But before, it would never work. Now it works. So now I have this whole new outlook. I feel like the possibilities are endless. You know, I feel like I can diet and exercise and it actually pays off and shows results. It's just been why I've never experienced it before. I've never experienced working really hard and having it actually pay off. So in addition to that, it's just been like your normal run-of-the-mill things that we've all kind of learned about how to lose weight. Something that I think has really helped me is cutting off eating pretty early in the evening, like sometimes 6 o'clock, sometimes 5:30, but definitely no later than 7. And it's just been amazing. Like I have more freedom. I don't have to eat nothing but chicken and broccoli all the time. Don't get me wrong, I do that a lot. But I feel like before I switched to the natural thyroid hormone and got on all my supplements, that's another thing that's helping too. Before I started doing everything that this doctor has me doing, I feel like the only way I could have lost weight was by eating like 900 calories a day, grilled chicken and broccoli and water. So what was I saying? Yeah, so I cut it off early in the evening. I follow the Candida diet as well as I can, which is like no bread, no alcohol, no sugar, all the things that like cause yeast to grow in your digestive system. However, the nurse did tell me that if you do want to have like a cheat meal or something, like Netflix and chill ice cream, you have to wait 4 to 7 days till you do it again. So I kind of took that and ran with it. I feel like every like 5 or 6 days I eat what I want. I make sure I'm moving around and I'm not too sedentary. I really feel like the supplements have played a huge role in it too. I'm like afraid to say what I take because I don't want it to sound like pseudoscience or whatever, but I really think it's helping. So I'm gonna tell you, but just I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional. So just take what I say like with a grain of salt. I take vitamin B12, calcium, magnesium, which I swear magnesium is like the skinny supplement, potassium, and vitamin D. Magnesium has been amazing for depuffing. Like I feel like I instantly looked thinner when I started getting the magnesium infusions because I was so deficient. I could see bones in my feet for the first time. I love looking at my feet still every day and seeing bones. And that's it. It hasn't been near as difficult as it used to be, and I almost feel like now it's almost like I can't gain, like maybe not can't, that's a strong word, but like I went to North Carolina, we stayed with my sister. I didn't really diet at all. I ate Flamin' Hot Cheetos and stuff. And I came home and I was like, oh my God, I easily gained 7 or 8 pounds while I was gone. Cause that's always my whole life what would happen. I gained nothing. It is weird, it's insane. So if you're struggling with your weight, maybe try and find out if there's some sort of underlying thing that's causing it. You really can't always blame yourself. Slim Naved, I see you, Devin. He says, what is the hardest thing about doing YouTube full time? Man, okay, so there's a lot of really, really hard things and there's a lot of really great, wonderful things. Mostly great and wonderful. For me, I guess the hardest part is always feeling like I'm chasing something, nothing ever feeling good enough. You know, next month will be 4 years that I've been doing this. I started in October of 2016 when I was 27. And I still feel new and I still feel like I haven't really got to get started yet, and I still feel like any day now I'm gonna get my rhythm and my flow and get my filming schedule, and I'm always chasing something. Any job I feel like that involves creativity or anything where you're an artist of any form, I feel like you're never happy with your own work. Like every video I put up, you know, I'll be laying in bed at night and be like, oh, I should have done this, I should have said this, I should have had this clip, and nothing is ever good enough. It's also really, really hard to keep my mouth shut a lot of the time. I find it incredibly unfair that people can say whatever they want to you, but the YouTuber cannot say anything back without people acting like the YouTuber did something wrong. Oh, that has always been so unjust to me. And that doesn't happen super often. Like I said, hate comments usually don't bother me, especially if they're shallow, like you're fat, you're stupid, you're not funny, whatever. But some comments, you want to say something back, whether it's a false accusation or just an assumption about your character or just anything. But what I've learned is that there is no point, it goes nowhere. People are going to believe what they want to believe, and you cannot reason with them. And even if I could convince one person, there'd be 10 more following behind them that I couldn't convince. So that's really hard. Editing is hard. It's fun, but it's like some videos will take me 30 hours. And I feel like for some reason I can't figure out the time schedule that everybody else can figure out. Like, how does Raw Beauty Christie put out 3 videos a week? How does Taylor Wynn put out 3 videos a week? I physically can't understand it. I'm always running behind, and that's a tough one. I need to tease my hair because it's real flat. However, However, all of that being said, it's really not a complaint. I'm just trying to answer the question because ultimately there's nothing I would rather be doing. That's why I'm doing it. Like I said, I always wanted to be an actress or storyteller or just be able to do what I love and use my gifts to earn a living. And this has enabled me to do all of that. So like any job, it has its downsides, but I'll take these. The good outweighs the bad. Kinley Grace says, would you consider yourself a comedian? Also, you're such an inspiration and make my day. Thank you, Kinley Grace. I would love to consider myself a comedian. That's what I feel like I am, but I feel like that's one of those things that is up for debate. Well, I don't know. I was just gonna say, I feel like other people kind of have to determine that, but I guess not. I guess if you think you're a comedian, then you are. Yeah, I'm a comedian. I'm not maybe the best comedian. And because I'm interested in other things and I labeled myself as one thing when I started this channel, sometimes I feel like I'm not really allowed to say I'm a comedian, but ultimately I know that's not true. I have to get past that. But that's what I am at heart, you know. I told you guys that before. You've seen my childhood sketches. I wasn't doing makeup tutorials growing up. I was just being funny, what I thought was funny anyway. You know, I was just making funny like SNL type sketches. That's where my heart is. Whoa, it's a little big. What's next? Mrs. Otis said, Mrs. Otis. Have you guys ever seen fried green tomatoes? She's like, Mrs. Otis died. Not that I'm glad Mrs. Otis died. Mrs. Otis died! Mrs. Otis! Oh God! Mrs. Not that I'm glad that Mrs. Otis died. It's just Mrs. Otis, is there any of your work / videos that you feel is very underrated or didn't get the amount of views you hoped it would? Yeah, I mean, anytime, I always kind of leave it up to the viewer to tell me how well the video should do, you know? So anytime there's a video posted that gets both great feedback but low views, that's usually when I feel that way. If people are commenting and commenting and commenting saying, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen, this is the best, I want cat ears on it. This made me so happy, tagging their friends, and then it gets hardly any views, I'm like, why? Really, I mean, that's a valid question, right? Like, how could this get such good feedback but hardly reach anybody? Wait. Ooh, I just thought of something extra cute. Ow. Tuck this, put this. Yeah. All right, let's go to the DMs here, the secret ones. So this young lad says, I feel like every YouTuber says that numbers don't get to them, but I can't help but not believe that. Do numbers ever get to you? Translation, do you wish you had more followers? I don't know how to answer this without sounding like a brat. That's another hard thing about YouTube is censoring yourself. I'll just be honest. Most of the time, the numbers do not get to me. I'm more focused on doing what I love doing. If I think really hard, I feel like there's two things that happen that tend to make me focus on the numbers and, you know, lament about them. One of them is if I see a YouTuber start their channel and instantly grow to like 1 million, 2 million subscribers, and all they do is talk about people. That has always bothered me, not just for myself, but for anyone who is creating content using their talents and gifts and creativity and ideas and positivity. Those channels will never do as well as channels who just drag other YouTubers, like drama channels basically. And that is not to say anything wrong with those channels. I mean, I watch them and a lot of them are really like well spoken and they're not necessarily trying to be a drama channel. They're trying to inform people about what's going on. I totally respect that. I really do. I still think that a creator using creativity and art, it makes more sense to me that those channels would grow faster. You know what I mean? I don't know. That just makes the most logical sense to me, but I understand that that's not how the world works. Like I have friends that I've made on YouTube who are so underrated, cannot get views, cannot get their work seen and start their career because just for no reason. Like they're good. They're good content creators. And then the only other time I feel like I think about numbers is when a brand won't work with me. There was a partnership I was really excited about just recently, and they literally said, I probably still have the email. They were like, you have really good engagement, you have a very involved audience, you know, you have a great view count, but you just don't have the subscriber numbers. So then of course it bums me out because I'm like, why does that matter, you know? But to some brands it does. I don't know why. So anyway, sorry, long answer. I think it matters to everybody a little, but it's not the only thing that's important. The most important thing is that we get to do what we love to do. A lot of these are about views and subscribers. I feel like I shouldn't answer any more of these because I just don't want to sound like that's all we're talking about, you know? What advice do you have for newlywed couples? I feel like you and Nick get along so great. How do you keep things spicy? I love that question. Thank you for, you know, noticing that I have a good relationship. A couple things. One thing is so simple, but is highly underrated is to just be nice. This goes for both men and women, obviously. I feel like it's just such an easy thing to do, and it's also an easy thing to forget to do when you're really comfortable with someone. Like, remember to smile at each other, look happy when your spouse comes home, you know, try not to sound annoyed when you answer the phone. Like, make a conscious effort to be nice and pleasant. And for some of you that may come naturally, but for me, it doesn't always come naturally. I have a bad temper. I have a lot of pent up anger. You know, if I'm really in my zone, I get really frustrated if someone interrupts me. Like, there's so many reasons why I could be crabby if I allowed myself to, and I have to make a conscious effort to be nice, and I really kind of expect him to do the same, and he does. So that's a huge thing, trying to be pleasant to each other, compliment each other. This is something I feel like I see men being pretty good about. I'm not trying to generalize, I swear, but just from what I've observed, I often see like my male friends telling their wives like, oh, you're so beautiful, this, that, and the other, and I don't always see it in return from the women. So just remember, ladies, men like compliments too, and I do it in front of people. Build each other up, you know. And then the last thing is communication. I don't understand not communicating. I truly don't, but I know it's a huge thing people struggle with. But there's times where I see like things my friends will put up with and not say anything, and I'm like, tell him how you feel. Now granted, there are times where maybe I communicate a little too aggressively. I'm working on it. But it's either that or I say nothing and I become resentful. And oh my gosh, that's the absolute last thing I want. No resentment is desired in any of my relationships. So I really try to say how I feel, what's upsetting me, what I need. And 100% it works both ways. I allow him to communicate with me. He recently communicated to me that he felt like I wasn't doing enough like acts of service, you know, like little favors here and there. And he was totally right. I wasn't. So it's important both ways. Communicate how you feel, but also if someone else communicates with you, you have to be able to accept it and not be defensive. And I was so glad he told me that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll do anything. Yes, I'll do stuff for you. I'm in my own little world half the time and I'm lazy, but I don't mean to be. And if he hadn't told me that, I would never know, and he'd probably be resenting me right now. So talk to each other, say how you feel. And if you feel awkward, just do it. And then it's not awkward. Like, make it not awkward. My tongue's getting dry. All right, one more. I'm sorry, guys. This is so long. If you're still here, wow, thank you. Ooh, two more. I like both of these. What work have you had done to your face? Botox, lip fillers, etc. I'm thinking about doing it, but I'm really scared. Okay, so I do not have lip filler despite what everybody thinks. I have naturally pretty big lips and I overdraw them and exaggerate them. But what I did get, I have Botox in two areas. So I have it in my forehead. It is glorious. And then I got the lip flip right here, which I think has worn off 90% now, but they put 5 units right here and it basically does this. Oh, I want it to look like that all the time. So it doesn't put any filler in your actual lip. It just takes this muscle and this lifts up. I felt like it made my lip look like it did 10 years ago. It was like 50 bucks. One little took 5 seconds and it was amazing. And then in the forehead, oh my gosh, it's so glorious. I'm not frozen. I still have plenty of movement. I just don't have this really deep wrinkle right here that always collected foundation. And then I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had like 5 or 6 horizontal lines that I felt like were just kind of, I don't even know the word. I want to say masculine, but it wasn't masculine. It was just heavy and rough, and just, I noticed it a lot when I was editing my videos. And I just, man, I love it. I'm not trying to encourage anybody to do it themselves, okay? I'm not trying to encourage you to not like your forehead wrinkles. I got it the first time last October, and then I didn't get it again until July. So when it wore off, like, I survived. I wasn't like crying into my cereal at night. But I just like it. It's just, yeah. Other than that, I haven't had anything done to my face. No fillers or anything. I don't even get like facials or do any fun stuff like that. I got microblading like 2 years ago, but then I never kept up with it. It faded. So that's that on that. And then the last question from Jackie says, how did you come up with the idea for bad movie reviews and makeup? It is my favorite thing you've done so far on your channel to date, and I've been following you for 3 years. First of all, thank you for being here for 3 years. That's amazing. So I'm happy to answer this question. It's kind of a loaded answer because on one hand, I feel like I should have done this immediately when I first started my channel. It's everything that I'm into, movies and makeup, and then putting myself into the movies, and sometimes like doing songs and stuff. Like it's all everything that I love, storytelling, playing with makeup, all of it. But the thing is, the reason I didn't do it until recently was I literally just, it didn't occur to me that I could. So there's two creators who really inspired me. One of them is Drew Gooden. I really don't even know how I found him, but I saw him reviewing bad movies and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a huge bad movie fan. Why don't I do this? And then I thought to myself, well, I can't. I'm not allowed because I'm a makeup artist. I feel like there's rules. I give myself stupid rules all the time. I always have. But then I started watching Bailey Sarian, and what Bailey Sarian did was she gave me permission. Not literally, but in my own mind. I really credit her for giving me permission to play with makeup and tell a story. Play with makeup and talk about something else, you know, whatever you want to call it. She, I feel like, pioneered that kind of on YouTube. I don't know. There may have been people doing similar stuff before her, but to me, she was, you know, like she does the murder mystery, and that is completely unrelated to makeup, and she didn't care. She's like, I'm not following any rules. I'm talking about what I want to talk about. So the combination of both of them, I was like, I am allowed to do this. So I figured I'd try it one time, see how it went over, and I was shocked. I was shocked at the response, and it just motivated me like crazy to want to do more and more, and every one I feel like is more fun, and every time I do one, I learn some new editing technique. I edit them all myself, by the way. And Nick is so on board with this, like for the first time. Like he's always been on board with what I do, but he hasn't wanted to be as involved. And now, like doing the green screen videos, he's out here in the morning ready to help me shoot the green screen. He's got my green screen set up. He's coming up with ideas. Like today he went out and he was looking for bad movies for me on DVD. Like it is so, this series has been amazing. So big shout out to both of them for helping me to realize I could do what I wanted to do. Whew. Okay, what time is it now? All right, 9:30. I've talked for 1 hour, which means this video is gonna be, man, I hope this video is not an hour long. All right, guys, thank you so much for sending questions. Thanks for being interested, for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. It is literally the reason that I get to do what I like to do, is because you guys are watching it. So thank you. I love you very much, and I'll see you Monday for Makaban Mama Manda. And if you want a hint about Monday's video, there's gonna be something strange happening when we watch it. Okay, love you guys, bye. I can tell that we are gonna be friends. Nick just sent me a really cute pic from the living room. Aw, him and Cup are cuddling on your cat. He's me.
I have a bird.
Okay.
Usually it's good like this, like if I just hold her. See, she just goes upside down now.
Babe.
Like watch, if I hold her, she just goes.
All right, but
She's learning.
I know, but